Hello, this is Kerry Hourigan from the Astrology and You podcast, and today we'll be covering the full moon in Virgo, which is the 6th of 7 full moons at 16 degrees. I'll also cover the 29 degrees Sabian symbol of Saturn in Aquarius and Pluto in Capricorn. Mars in Gemini is in a T-square to the full moon, so there's quite a lot to get through. But firstly, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the original land carers, the Awabakal people, where this podcast is recorded. I give my deepest respect to elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge sovereignty has never been ceded. Just a reminder, you can get a free mini astrology report that includes a very detailed birth chart from Astrology and You. I created a video to show you how to create a free birth chart with transits at astro.com, and both of these are really helpful with any astrology that you might be following. You can find the podcast on iTunes as well as Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Google Play and Stitcher. So the full moon in Virgo is happening on the 7th of March 2023 at 16 degrees and 40 minutes, depending on your location. So check your chart to see where this and other transits are happening, as this is the area of your life that you will be affected individually. In evolutionary astrology, we relate the moon to our ego, our unconscious reactions, habits, meaning what we are familiar with, our self-image, how we see ourselves. It's our subjective filter by which we view the world based on our childhood conditionings, beliefs, societal conditionings, our culture, our experiences, including past life experiences. So this is why we can view the same thing as everyone else, but we see it different individually. Full moons bring things to a closure, to a culmination and completion stage where we can let go and release, and it is an ideal time to look closely at where we feel emotionally blocked and what is behind that, to ultimately release ourselves of what can seem like bondage. But it does require inquiry and examination. So any stressful thoughts and emotions that you are experiencing, I highly recommend the work of Byron Katie. Katie offers her process for free to show you how you can get to the bottom of what is causing your suffering, and there's a link below. So Virgo is a mutable earth sign ruled by Mercury, and it rules the 6th house. Virgo is associated with discernment, meaning the separating of what is useful and serves us to what is useless and is to be discarded or released. I mean, after all, when you think of it, Virgo rules the digestive system. This applies to all aspects of our lives for our well-being. Virgo is about service, and it starts with the service to ourself. And this contributes to our own healing, and in turn we can help heal others. For this, we must look at the details in our life with criticism, judgment, and discrimination to identify faults and make the necessary adjustments for continual ongoing improvement. It is a purifying process. It's a cleaning and clearing out, detoxing ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The full moon in Virgo is an ideal time to analyze areas around money, relationships, including the relationship with ourself, our overall health, and our home, including cleaning out the kitchen cupboards. Virgo's modality is mutability, meaning adaptability and flexibility. Therefore, to do this, we have to take things step by step, consistently looking at the details of where the greatest improvements can be made. And as a clue, you can find this in your natal chart and where the placement of Virgo is. And this reveals where the greatest improvements can be obtained. In the practice of discernment, we become quicker at releasing what no longer serves us and continually improving ourselves in becoming more consciously aware. And this includes forgiveness of others. And I saw a remarkable post by Anita Morjani, who suggested forgiveness is releasing. So when we say we forgive another or we forgive ourselves, we are releasing what or whomever we need to forgive. And this is an act of self-love. In this act, we give ourselves freedom. We release ourselves The distortions of Virgo can be very debilitating if not corrected, and masochism is a distortional expression of Virgo, and it is crippling, paralyzing the person if not addressed. Masochism comes from having an inner anger and guilt, and this comes from not feeling good enough, and feeling inferior creates crisis. This inner guilt can make one often feel they deserve to be punished but don't know why. This distortion creates awareness of lack, imperfection, and inadequacy, and gives us the clues we need to identify where the problem areas are. By looking at the details and analysing, we identify what needs to be improved. This process is necessary for our development, maturity, and evolution. And I suppose it's easy to say after you've been through it. I remember going through it many times myself, and I still do from time to time. Even though it feels like a punishment at times, realize that everything is for your higher good. It is for your potential and your soul's evolution, and you can quickly turn a difficult experience into a valuable resource of discarding what no longer serves you and to continually improve. These challenges are of great value, therefore we must be involved. After all, Virgo is an earth sign. It is a physical sign. We have to be involved and be proactive in facing our challenges to liberate us and find peace and freedom from our suffering. Virgo heals in this way, and therefore its polarity Pisces enables us to access that unconditional love that actually comes from us, supports us, and in turn we can help others heal. Be very aware of what you say to yourself. I mean, we can be brutal and cruel to ourselves, and we can really hurt ourselves so badly. Of course, this leads to the feelings of not feeling good enough. And I saw another great post that said, talk to yourself like you talk to your pet. Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, relates to the communications we have with ourselves. Mercury is currently in Pisces, and this offers us other ways of looking at something differently, leading to healing of our wounds. When we heal ourselves like this and detox ourselves, we strengthen our immune systems. And I say systems because we have to take in not just the physical immune system, but the emotional, mental, and spiritual immune systems. Some astrologers also consider Chiron as a co-ruler, which would also make sense as Chiron represents the wounded healer, hence the healing through our wounds. Chiron currently is sitting in Aries, is in conjunct to the full moon, and this in conjunct aspect represents difficulty, tension, and frustration. The difficult aspects urge and compel us to look at things differently for the best outcome. Saturn is at 29 degrees, and 29 degrees is known as a critical degree as it moves out of Aquarius and into Pisces. There is a lot of talk about this. In the Sabian symbols, 29 degrees of Aquarius is described as a butterfly emerging from the chrysalis, which comes from Dane Rudhyar. Essentially saying from the fundamental level or the lowest point, there is a waking up or an awakening via the raising of spiritual development to a higher vision, to change to a higher vibration. The energy of Saturn is moving us into an awakening process to a higher spiritual level. Be disciplined and responsible in this transition. And this is so exciting. It gives us so much to look forward to. I mean, we are never going to experience this ever again. It's such an incredible time to be alive. Also at 29 degrees is Pluto in Capricorn. This also signifies power as Pluto makes his way into Aquarius for a short time, actually comes back into Capricorn. The 29th degree of Capricorn reads, a woman reading tea leaves. And essentially, this is a training in intuition, in learning to trust that part of ourselves. In olden times, and even today, use their intuition to seek, understand, and evaluate to help clarify confusing situations. They look beyond what is happening. So here, Pluto is gazing into the tea leaves and perhaps transitioning into the notion of other realms. We are hearing a great deal about 5D. I am investigating this so I can understand better what it really means. To my understanding so far, 5D is going into the realm where emotions, feelings and intuition are important. Pluto will be at the 29th degree for about a month, and perhaps this time is about profound intuition. If you want to know more about the Sabian symbols, I have a link to James Burgess's website. He's wonderful at explaining what the Sabian symbols mean. So as we move along, Mars in Gemini is in a T-square to the full moon, and T-squares are known for being challenging and they come with tension. Mars in Gemini is the focal point of this T-square, and the archetype of Mars has an instinctual action about it. It's actually challenged by the full moon in Virgo, because Virgo being the archetype of precision and discernment, Mars can become impatient. It is challenged here as there are many directions one can take. However, Virgo's insistence on patience and taking things step by step, more calmly, carefully, and to consider the consequences of one's actions. In the podcast I had the Leo full moon back on February 6th, I first mentioned the 16th card of the tarot, which is the Tower. And from the website biddytarot.com, the description goes on to say that the Tower is in jeopardy as it is built on shaky foundations, and if a foundation in any area of our life, whether it's a relationship, a business or a dwelling, isn't on sound and stable ground, but its foundation is shaky and unstable, anything that is built on that foundation, including any foundations that follow, will all crumble. And we are birthing the beginning of a new age, the age of Aquarius, the archetype of equality, compassion and community. And as we see things play out on a global scale, for those who want dominance and control, this is the last thing that they want, and when threatened will do whatever is necessary to maintain their position. They must keep feeding fear and terror into people to control them, and with these emotions it keeps people in dense and heavy vibrations. Other emotions are worry, blame, guilt, resentment, anger, stress, frustration, and they all dwell in these dense vibrations, and it feels like walking through wet concrete. This stress impacts on the immune response and it weakens the immune system. This has all been done and said before. There is nothing new under the sun. Just like all those before them failed, so will they. It's inevitable. Therefore, just like the birth of a baby, we are experiencing the drama and tension before the baby is born. And in this experience that is so dramatic, so stressful, it transforms into something wonderful and precious. The best thing you can do is don't get caught up in the fear and terror. You take care of yourself holistically in all areas of your life, and you practice self-love. Be in the higher emotions of hope, peace, gratitude, thankfulness, joy, relief, appreciation as much as you can. This raises our vibration and we feel lighter. You listen to your heart's intelligence. Pay attention and practice listening to your intuition, as it will never lie to you. Medically, Virgo rules the intestines, digestion, immune response, hygiene, general health, response to stress and healing potential. Have a daily meditation practice. I can never stress that enough. For stressful emotions, seek the work of Byron Katie for Katie's free process and free yourself from your nightmare. Treat your body like a temple. After all, it is a temple. Appreciate, praise and acknowledge yourself. Clear out what is not needed, including things around your home. Strengthen your overall immune system, mentally, emotionally, physically and spiritually. Be in nature as much as you can and seek security within, and lovingly nurture yourself. There is a new website in the making. I've had obstacle after obstacle, but I just keep chipping away, and I will let you know when it's ready. Thank you for listening, and I welcome all the new subscribers. I'm always thrilled to think we connect all over the world. To me, it's like a little miracle. Until next time, take care of yourself and God bless. Bye-bye.